I don't remember it looking like a motorcycle helmet. Hello, this is Ken. I like making things. I like making things out of paper, and I like making things cooler. Especially my figures. Sometimes figures don't look all that screen accurate. All they need is a bit of touch up here and there to unleash their hidden potential. I also love using everyday tools and materials to recreate iconic scenes from my figures, so they can shine on my display. Subscribe to my channel and join my DIY adventure as I ask myself the same question every week. Can I make it? Last week, I worked on Namor to make him look less toy-like and more lifelike. Check it out if you haven't already. Continuing on with Black Panther 2, today I'm gonna work on Nakia. I personally think Nakia is one of the weaker or underdeveloped characters in the Black Panther movies. But I do think this version of Nakia looks significantly better and more unique than she did in the first movie. She is from the River Tribe after all, and not a Dora Milaje, so green fits her character well. I wasn't super interested in this figure at first, but ultimately I got this and other Black Panther 2 figures from Toy Snowman because I wanted the free shipping, and they also have a rewards program. Check out the link in the description. I think the figure looks better in person than on camera. There's a lot going on with this figure. So, let's deconstruct this figure. There's an FAQ on the paint and brushes I use in the description box below. I don't know how to feel about the helmeted head. On one hand, I appreciate them including it, but on the other hand, it just doesn't look right. I'm not sure if they're using the same face, but her face does not look like Lupita here. Maybe it's the distortion from the face shield. The shape of the helmet also looks off too. The movie version has a different shape to it. I think this figure is based on the concept art. The boots in the final version is blue and brown. The blue color seems to be the wrong shade too. And they ran out of ink on her back. You can see where the budget ends. On the other hand, the unmasked face is great. This is one of the better head sculpts. She looks like Lupita and her neutral expression looks very natural. So today's goal is to make Nakia look less like the concept art and more like the movie itself. So, can I make it? Let's start with the body. The figure is missing this dark brown all over the upper body. I think black would add to the contrast, but I generally avoid using black whenever possible, especially for small details. And in this case, brown seems better suited for the River Tribe. This is surprisingly easier to do than I thought. It's due to all these grooves on the suit. My brush just slips into these grooves, making it relatively easy to fill them in. Look at that. That looks pretty good. Now let me work on the arms. I'm going to be a bit more selective here. Instead of painting every panel brown, I'm going to paint every other one instead. That way I can achieve that stripe pattern look. I'm also going to continue the brown all the way down to her hands. The contrast on the painted forearm looks so much better compared to the unpainted one. Let me skip a little bit. Alright, I'm back. I painted the other arm and I filled in the areas on the waist too. I'm also adding a bit of the same brown on her belt to make it look more detailed and add more dimension to it. Speaking of dimension, I'm also going to add a wash of brown onto the circular pads on her upper thighs to bring out the intricate details. And for her boots, I like what I've done to the arms, so I'm going to replicate that on her legs, filling in every other panel with the brown. I think the final design is quite different, so just go with what I think looks good. Next, I need to mix myself a metallic green, as close to the one on the figure as possible. I don't own any metallic paint besides gold and silver, so I'm going to mix a bit of silver into the green. color's still too light. Let me add a bit of a darker green. Alright, let's see. Let me test it on the back side. It's close. It's not as reflective as I wanted. Now let me add those missing green details. It's not an exact match, but I'm okay with it. Let me add this to the upper arms, filling in the rest of the stripes with this green. Ta-da! Both arms are painted. That actually looks quite nice. Now onto the legs. Gotta fill all those lines. Steady hands, steady. Oh, okay. Just like the panels on the arms and legs, this is actually pretty easy to do. The brush glides in the lines, and it's super easy to clean up any mistakes. Done. Now onto the knee pads. The paint isn't sticking well here, so I'm gonna wait for this layer to dry and work on it more after. Alright, all there's left is the blue on her boots. I'm going for a cobalt blue with a bit of shimmer to it, and I'm gonna fill in the rest of the areas on her boots with this. Ooh, that looks so much better visually. Let me do the other one off screen. Ta-da! I really like this blue, so I'm gonna apply this over the other blue areas too, to make all the blue areas match a bit better. Starting with the circular thingies on her upper thighs. It's missing a chunk of paint near the back. Alright, and I'm gonna paint this over the stripes on the forearms as well. Oh, can't forget the little bits on the torso too. According to all the reference images, the blue on her chest looks almost metallic. Since I don't have any metallic paint, I'm just gonna rub a thin layer of silver over it to make it look more reflective. Oh, and before I finish the body, let me show you what I've done to her ring blades. Unfortunately, these don't appear to be screen accurate either, so I just painted them a gunmetal color with a bit of silver on the outer bladed areas. Much better than the original green. Back to the figure. I worked on the finer details a bit more, and I added a bit of blue to her neck area. The body's pretty much done, so I'm gonna add a bit of varnish to the neck to add a bit of protection. I'm also adding a bit of varnish to all the blue areas as well, so they stand out against the matte brown and dark green parts. Ah, almost forgot the kimoyo beads. I'm applying a small amount of silver on them to give them that metallic look. Here's Nakia's helmeted head. I don't know how the dust got inside the face shield. I tried shaking it out. It didn't work. Okay, first, I do not like that dark green color. I'm gonna cover it up with that green I used earlier. And I'm gonna add a bit of lime green to give it more dimension, so the helmet doesn't look too dull. Then gonna use that cobalt blue under the two ridges in the middle, and on that little bit on her chin. Here's the before and after. Oh, the dust is gone. I still don't love this helmeted head. It still looks off to me. Here's Nakia's head without the helmet. Mine came with a glitter speck. It's like embedded onto the plastic. But other than that, I love this head. The only issue I see is that the hair is more reflective than her face. But Lupita has a nice glow to her skin all the time. So I'm gonna mattify her hair. But before I do that, I want to bring out the orange-brown hair even more. The color they use is correct, but it's missing some highlights. So I'm dabbing a small amount of this tan color to add a bit more contrast and sharpness to the hair. It looks strange as individual strokes, but they'll look great as a whole. Alright, Now all I need to do is to mattify the hair. I'm gonna go over the hair with the black. Acrylic paint dries matte. So all I'm doing here is changing the finish of the hair, so Nakia's face becomes the only area that has a sheen to it. Oh, gotta patch that speck. Boop. Ah, I also noticed that Nakia has these gold accessories on her hair. I see one on the side of her face here, so let me add that touch of gold. Perfect. Here's the before and after. The changes are very subtle, but the face is now the main focus. Hey, you can now support me on Patreon. I post quite regularly there, from behind the scenes updates to sneak peeks to video breakdowns. Top tier members will receive a DIY 3D mini poster every month. These mini posters look great by themselves, but even cooler next to other mini posters. I love making things, and this is my way to thank my supporters. The link to my Patreon is in the description box down below. Alright, here's the finished figure. It looks pretty similar from afar. I like the slightly darker blue more, especially on her boots. The back no longer looks unpainted now too. I think the changes are more obvious up close, so let's see. The brown isn't noticeable at first, but it does make the suit look more intricate. It brings the whole design together. The helmet, I don't know. It matches the new look, but I'm still not a fan of it. That's because I love this head so much more. This looks so much better as a figure. I don't know how to describe it, but the overall design looks so much more balanced now. Probably because the suit design is so busy, so the unhelmeted head draws your eyes towards her face. Overall, this figure is better than I expected. Probably because we don't see that many green superheroes. Usually they're red or blue, but green is a color that's very easy on the eyes. And Hasbro also did a great job capturing Lupita's likeness. I think this is one of the best ones I've seen recently. Oh, and the kimono beads look great too. They look exactly how I remember them in the movies. The helmeted head looks so jarring. Why? I feel like she's about to hop on the motorcycle with the helmet on. It just doesn't fit the look somehow, even though the colors are cohesive. The distortion of her face also doesn't help. It's hard to see her face, and for some reason, it doesn't look like her. Otherwise, I do really enjoy this unique design of her suit. There are circles, lines, stripes. They shouldn't go together, but it kinda works. What also surprises me is that the ring blades are very cool. I thought they looked a little silly in the movie, but they're very fun to pose. Almost too fun. Even though the shape isn't correct, I actually prefer this over a simple circular shape. Alright, let's end this for the photo shoot. I'm just gonna get this out of the way first. I tried my best, but it's really difficult to make this helmeted head look cool. Nakia looks like she's falling asleep in it. It looks a little better from the side, but it's still giving me motorcycle helmet. Okay, on to the good stuff. This looks so much better. Look at all the fun ways she can hold the ring blades. I think what Hasbro did really well here is that they gave Nakia this neutral yet intense expression. Sometimes certain figures look bored, but with the right angle, Nakia can look like she's ready to battle, or she's thinking about what to do next. Her face reads differently in every photo, and best of all, it still looks like Lupita in every shot. She has no bad angles, and this is one of the few female figures that are super easy to pose. She's very easy to balance, and can pull off a variety of action poses. Alright, I hope you enjoyed today's video. I ended up liking this figure so much. Give it a like and subscribe if you haven't already. More Black Panther figures to come. Stay inspired, and I'll see you next week. I can make it, so can you.